And that goes to his opening remarks about what Trump managed to achieve at NATO. I mean, what you have seen, and I've written about this in my column in The Advertiser tomorrow, what you have seen this week is a genuine world leader. And it's a long time since you could say that we've had a genuine world leader, because I know we talk about prime ministers and presidents and premiers and people all the way down to local mayors being leaders. But the reality is that many of them are little more than managers. They manage what is in front of them. In order to be a leader, funnily enough, you have to lead, which means you are getting other people to change their mind. You are changing the way a country operates. You're changing the way the world operates. And that is what Trump has done this week. Through the strength of that attack, the preciseness of that attack, he has shown the world that he is willing to act if and when he thinks it is appropriate. And that is a message to China and Russia and any other potential adversary as much as it is to Iran. In fact, you know, you could argue that Iran is just the poor bugger that had to wear it in order for Trump to send the message that he's willing to use his might because it is there. He then goes to NATO and convinces all but one nation to increase their military spending to 5%. That is leadership, and that is why work like this has been so successful, because Trump, as Hegseth said, has done away with the DEI nonsense and said, we are in the business of peace through strength and achieving things. That's what leadership is, and that's what Trump has been about. And of course, you mentioned the Defence Threat Reduction Agency. I mean, how extraordinary that the genesis of all of this over more than 15 years, 16 years, that these two blokes have been working on this project. Like, it is literally two men who lived and breathed Fordo that led to this attack on Sunday, our time. That is extraordinary. Two men.
It makes Trump's comparison with the bomb dropped on Hiroshima a little more realistic, right? Now you know that they'd been working for 15, 16 years getting ready for this, if you saw the movie Oppenheimer, where they worked specifically on, we're going to end the war, we're going to drop a bomb. It makes that comparison not quite so silly as many people mocked Trump when he said that.
And they weren't just mapping Fordo, it's through their mapping that they ended up developing these special bombs. And so it's all this knowledge compounded over 15 years, developing the bombs and all the tech required to destroy the plants. It's truly incredible. I felt proud, and I'm not even American. And I just was sitting there thinking, imagine if our leaders in Australia spoke like this about our country. Imagine how great that'd be to have a defence minister who knows what they're talking about. We can only dream.
Yeah, well, of course, you mentioned the NATO summit. Richard Marles was there on the very edge of the photograph. I'm not imagining that he nor the Albanese government are going to be so enthusiastic about this amazing historic achievement by the United States military. It really does leave them out in the cold when the US are celebrating such a historic event, a great result in Iran, and of course now with 32 NATO nations right behind America who are leading with strength.
And one of the other points that we should mention from that presser is Hegseth was asked multiple times about enriched uranium and whether or not it was removed from Fordo ahead of the attack. He has said there is nothing to suggest that they didn't hit what they wanted to hit, which is saying he thinks they've destroyed it, but he is looking at the intelligence. But the reality is, even if it was removed, the stuff they need in order to use it has probably been destroyed.